Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do something really fun. I'm going to do a recreate of a mani I did 2 years ago, one of my favorites. If you're wondering what is on my right hand, yes, my right hand, that's the last video I uploaded, and I used my non-dominant hand to do this mani for the first time, or maybe the second time on this channel. So if you're interested in watching that, I'll put it up in the cards for you. We're gonna do a marble today, so I'm gonna go over what we need for that. First of all, of course, you're going to need your dip powders. I am using Bridesmaids from Virgo and Jim, Trendsetter from 𝕔𝕙𝕒𝕟𝕟𝕟𝕟, Dancing Queen from Soul Dips, and Tachyon from 𝕔𝕙𝕒𝕟𝕟𝕟. I am also using my 𝕔𝕙𝕒𝕟𝕟𝕟 dip liquids, and I'm going to use this French dip tray and my cuticle cleanup tool, as well as a cuticle pusher. I'm using this as kind of like a mini spoon to add the colors to the dip tray. You can use whatever you're comfortable with using, a swatch stick, a cuticle pusher, whatever works for you. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to dip out my solid nails. So I'm using Bridesmaids on my pinky, my index, and my thumb. I'm going to do 2 dips on each finger. Then I'm going to dip out Tachyon, which is that milky white color from 𝕔𝕙𝕒𝕟𝕟𝕟. I'm going to dip 2 dips of Tachyon on my ring finger, and then I'm going to get into a simple no tape color block that we're going to marble as well. So that's the plan. And while I'm dipping out Bridesmaids, I am going to talk a little bit about this mani. So about 2 years ago, almost exactly 2 years ago, I did this mani, and I used Bridesmaids for the first time. It was my very first dip color I ever bought from Virgo and Jim. And it is still probably one of my all-time favorite solid purples. It's just this gorgeous, rich, royal purple. I adore it. And I hadn't used it in a really long time. And I came across this mani in a memory. It popped up on my memories somewhere. I don't remember, maybe Facebook, I don't know. But I was like, you know what? I kind of want to do this set again. I loved it so much. At the time, I think it was my favorite mani, the one I was the most proud of. Because at that point, I think I'd only been dipping maybe less than a year. So I was pretty proud of that mani. I mean, I did a marble, a color block, some stamping. I mean, I loved that mani. So, and I'm going to insert a picture here so that you can see what I'm talking about. It was, yeah, I mean, you can see my nails are a bit shorter. I'm not wearing any kind of extensions. Those are my natural nails. And by the way, just ignore the creepy little hand nailfie pose, because that was really a trending nailfie pose for a while, and I awkwardly tried it a couple of times, and this was one of those times. So if you were around in the nail community back then, especially the dip community, it was like a huge thing. Let me know down in the comments if you ever tried that pose, so I don't feel like I'm alone here. Anyway, I'm just about done dipping out Bridesmaids, and what I'm going to do, because this is such a rich and vibrant color, and because, you know, staining happens, I am going to encapsulate and clear on these 3 nails and activate, so that when I dip out the milky white, the Bridesmaids doesn't interfere or stain the lighter colors. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to stop chatting for a little bit and let you just kind of watch. And I'm going to come back when it's time to do that tape-free color block, so I can kind of explain that a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply my dip base to my entire nail. And then what I'm going to do is I actually tapped, I don't know if you can see it, I don't know if I got it in frame, but I tapped the jar of Bridesmaids on the table so that it was kind of a smooth, flat surface on the top of the jar. And then I dipped my nail in at an angle and probably only dipped about a quarter of my nail. And then I'm gonna pour over tachyon to fill in the rest of the nail. Simple, okay? It's kind of like an angled French tip, if you will. And I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm gonna do that twice. And then we're gonna get into some marbling. The first thing that I'm going to do before I set up the dip tray for the marbling is I'm going to activate the purple tip. And that's because when I lay my finger down into the tray, I don't want tachyon to get stuck to my purple tip. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cuticle pusher, and like I said, you can use whatever you're comfortable with using. I like this cuticle pusher just because I find it very easy to control the amount of powder that I put down. But you can use a swatch stick, you can use a small plastic spoon, whatever you're comfortable with. And I'm just going to randomly tap, starting with my darker color Bridesmaids, and I mostly go kind of at a diagonal angle, and I kind of turn the tray, I turn it in different directions, and then I'm going to add the lighter color Trendsetter, just to kind of add a little bit of depth to the marble. And even though in the final product you don't see it very much, I wish I had added a bit more of the glitter. I do add some of the Dancing Queen in there. And I don't know what happened. I guess it's a bit heavier than the other colors because when I dipped my finger in, the glitter just kind of sank to the bottom and didn't really stick to my nail. But it's fine. I could have gone back in and just, added a little bit of glitter, but I didn't bother with that. I was being a little lazy with this marble, but now that I've added all the colors, I'm going to take my cuticle cleanup tool or a water marble tool. You could use a toothpick, you can use a needle, whatever works for you, and just kind of move and swirl the colors around until it looks like the kind of marble design you're looking for. And once you do that, you're going to just gently tap it on the table to smooth out the surface. And that's when I go ahead and apply my dip base to the nail line marbling. I'm talking like I have marbles in my mouth. Marbling, and then I'm going to lay my finger flat into the tray. Now, you don't have to have one of these trays. You could do this in a cupcake liner. You could do it in a plastic spoon. This is just, I happen to have this. I got it a while ago, but I do have one linked in my Amazon storefront, so they're not really expensive. So if you're looking for something like that, you can find it there. It's in the description box below. It is an affiliate link. So now I am going to do the same process for the color block nail, except that I am only going to put dip base on the white part of my nail. But before I do that, I'm going to add a little bit more of the colored powder, because when I dip my finger, obviously some of the color, went onto my nail. And so there's like this empty space there that I'm going to just fill in. and swirl it around, tap it on the table or with my finger to smooth it out, and then just lay my finger in the tray like I did the first time. It's pretty simple. And then what I'm going to do when I'm finished with that is I am going to encapsulate those two nails in clear. I'm going to activate them. Then I'm going to file and shape off camera. And when I come back, we're going to do a very simple stamp accent. And then we'll be done and we'll be ready to top coat. Now I'm going to use the same stamping plate I used last time to add this little stamp detail to the color block nail. And this design has two lines on either side that I don't want. So I'm going to use my scraper to remove those lines, and then I'm going to apply sticky base coat, and then I'm going to place that stamp right along the edge of that color block. I'm going to come back in a few minutes and we're going to do gel base coat, and we're going to make this mani matte with a matte top coat from Dabbler. Whenever I do a matte top coat of any kind, whatever the brand is, although I'm mostly just using Dabbler these days because it's the only thing lately I found that does not give me a reaction, that I always apply a layer of base coat first, gel base, and I cure that fully for 30 to 60 seconds. For my lamp, I do 60 seconds just to, make sure it's fully cured. And then I apply my matte top coat. Because when you apply a base coat, it gives the top coat something to stick to, and there's less likely going to be any chipping or peeling of your matte top coat. Plus, I think it just gives a nice smooth finish for the matte top coat. So that's what I'm going to do, and when I come back, we'll wrap everything up nice and neat with some cuticle oil and my final thoughts. So here it is, the final product, and I'm still obsessed. Yep. I actually like that I did a full marble nail this time. Last time I only did like a half nail color block thing, and I liked it. It was really pretty, but I like the marble. I think it looks great. So yeah, I love that I switched it up a little bit. You know, I used my original mani as kind of an inspiration and switched it up a little. So let me know what you think down in the comments, and if you like the OG mani better, or if you like this new revamped version a little better. I'm kind of torn. I love them both, but one thing I can tell you is Bridesmaids. It's still one of my all-time favorite solid purples. It's just a beautiful color, and I'm probably going to use it again sometime. Anyway, so I did use my Going Bananas cuticle oil again. I've been obsessed with it. And as you saw, when you rub cuticle oil into a matte mani, it makes it shiny. Well, there's a simple solution. All you have to do is take some isopropyl alcohol on a lint-free wipe and just clean the nail plate. That's all there is to it, and we're right back to matte. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that you enjoyed watching me do this mani as much as I enjoyed creating it. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, what are you waiting for? Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell and click that like button. I'll see you next time. Bye bye now.